Ready?
Yep.
Okay, everyone, we're back. My neighbor was starting up her bike, so I just wanted to not get that on film too much, though. It didn't sound that bad. So hopefully we'll continue from where we left off. We don't know if we could splice it together. You may just have to watch the next video. So we talked about this part here coming up, right? Holding the ball. Coming up, holding the ball. So if you can see from this side, I'm coming up, and then I'm turning and holding the ball. From here, I'm going to pop up, and then I'm going to pivot and hold the ball. It's important that your hands don't shrink together as you're coming through the move. Your hands have to stay where they are, okay? Again, here, right? Feeling the weight of your bones coming up to this point, holding the ball. If you see how I'm doing it, it would be done this way. So you don't see me coming up at all, but the come up is a little bit easier for everybody and actually moving it. Just when you come up, you want to make sure you're not straightening this knee out, that you're just coming up here, that you're torquing your body this way as you're coming up. So at this point here, when I pivot, I'm going to pivot this way, and then my foot's going to slide, and then I'm going to step with that whole step, coming down here, moving my knee to my toe, and as I do that, this bucket of water empties into this bucket, allowing this foot to come up and turn. Now, as I'm doing that, from this angle here, and I'm coming up to this point, just pay attention to the feet now. I'll bring the hands in it as well. I'm going to slide it out. As I step out here, I step on a 43 degree angle, except, my body's facing this way. As I come up here, I may turn this foot out a little bit to release it so I can bring this foot up and then turn it as I'm moving my body to a 45 degree angle. So if you see it from this side here, the angle that we're doing it in the beginning, from a forward motion of the camera, I'm coming this way here, then I'm turning. Now from here, I'm going to step out, come down. As I switch my weight, I'm going to pick this up, and as I turn my body, this is going to follow. All right, to give you the two different angles that this is going to be coming at, all right? And I'll try to do it both ways. All right, so from here now, all right, I'm going to come up, I'm going to turn and hold the ball. When I step out, I'm going to step out on my heel. This sinks a little bit to get me into that step, and I sink. So you don't want to come with your step and drop, all right? You want to glide it over to this. This is part of the difficult part of the movement. I'm going to sink it down, not drop, sink down. At this point here, I come down for the full weight on my foot. I start switching the one bucket of water to the other, and my bottom hand is going to come up to my elbow as I switch, see? As I'm switching my weight, my bottom hand comes up to my elbow, all right? So my right is coming up to my left elbow. As I do that here, I'm going to pick up on the foot. This is what makes this Tai Chi a little bit more difficult than others, right? So from here, I pick up. Now, as I'm moving from here, I'm going to follow my forearm. And as I come out, my fingertips are going to go into the palm of my hand. They can lightly touch, but you can see my middle finger is right centered in the palm as I'm coming through with the movement, okay? So from this motion here, I'm going to come up with my foot. Now I'm going to follow the movement. My foot is kind of following the movement of my hand. When I reach this point, my foot's got to come down. It's at that point that all my weight centers down on the hip. So here I feel a little bit uncomfortable. I feel my stance is too close. So usually I'll take a wider stance on this to take the pressure off my knee and my hip movement. So at this position here, like I said, everything is play. At this position here, when I'm coming up, right, you see from here, I'm going to come up and turn, hold the ball. Now I may, to rectify that situation, step out a little bit further. As I'm coming down here and I'm coming up here, I'm bringing this foot up. Now I'm following my forearm and I'm coming out. Now at this point, my foot comes down. If I feel that the stance is still not wide enough, I'm going to slide the back foot out, right? come down more with that stance. Like I could play a little bit. If you're right on the money, you don't have to do that. Usually I'm not ever really right on the money. I'm watching my posture, keeping myself straight. So as I'm coming up with this motion here, I'm following this here, then I'm coming down to this point, and then I come out. When I come out and I sink, my hand goes a little bit to my right shoulder. I'm not directly in front. It pushes out. So the whole movement is coming this way, and then I push out. All right, so again, from here, I come up, hold the ball, step out. If I feel like this step even further, I step out even further. All right, nothing's written in stone. Now I'm going to correct my posture, come up here, follow this, pick my foot up, follow with the foot. That's very hard to do, very high class. Here now I start sinking my weight. I switch my hip when I drop into the fall, right? So you can see from there. From here, from the front view, or the side view, I'm going to come here, turn, hold the ball, right? Here I may want to sink out a little bit further, come down. As I can see I'm slugging here, I'm going to straighten myself out, right? You're always mindful of where your heart is. Your heart should never be tipped, right? Straighten yourself out. At this point now, I can pick up, you see, where it releases, and then I'm following here, I'm coming out here. You see now I'm dropping even, and then when I get to this point, I drop my hip, and I push out on a more 45 degree, like even with my right shoulder, okay? So it's important to watch your posture through it, and your neck. Right now I'm teaching it, so my neck may be moving a little bit, but as far as the motion goes, I try to keep my head always even with my movement. So it helps me correct and keep my core and my root in line, which is my core and my root. And we'll go into the next chapter next.